Here's the hard truth for property sellers in Florida. You've got three types of sellers. You got the no hassle seller, the fixer-upper seller, and then you also have the urgent seller. And the fixer-upper seller and the urgent seller typically are somebody that when I purchase a property, then I'm like, they're easier to deal with, especially if you could show them comps. Because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. But the no hassle seller, the one that thinks they have time, but they do want to sell the property, they're thinking in their head, a lot of them they don't understand how comps actually work. The way that it actually works, especially right now in this market, and it is a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. That means there's way more buyers that are there's way more sellers than they are buyers. So if there's a lot of inventory, that means that sellers right now, that they're going to have to wait if they want premium pricing. Now, if you have a great product, if your property is really nice, if you did a great job on the property and it looks fantastic, everything is taken care of, then great. You're probably going to have an easier time selling your property. Now, here's the catch. Even for buyers, whenever they're purchasing a property, mortgage companies are requiring what they call a 4-point inspection or a full inspection, and it needs to pass everything inside that inspection. And I know that, so the fixer-upper seller, they already know the only person that could purchase that property is a cash buyer. That's just like myself. The other individual, in a sense of the urgent seller that needs to sell it right now, probably they need a new roof. The only thing is, if they sell it to somebody who has to get a mortgage, now that individual have to pass the inspection. If it needs a new roof and you can't afford to find somebody who could do the roof, well, guess what? Now you're going to have to put a new roof on there and spend whatever the amount is, $6,000 to $15,000 for a brand new roof on a property. It all matters if it needs new sheeting and everything else. The reality is a lot of times, like if somebody calls our office pertaining to wanting to sell their property, if the property's close, if they're kind of out of their mind when it comes down to selling their property, I don't even want to go over there just because it's not going to make any sense. All we're going to do is I would refer it to one of our listing partners, put the property on the market. But remember, to put the property on the market, it takes money as well. You have to hire, if you want to do it right, you've got to have professional photography, professional drone work, all of these specific items that you need to really do your absolute best on selling the property for as much money as you possibly can. And so your goal is, it's got to be clean. It's got to look good. You got to pressure wash it. We do our best to kind of consult the seller and say, hey, if you do these items, like pressure wash the house, if you paint the house, you make sure you tighten every screw, make sure the cabinets aren't falling apart, there's new loose handles. If you even do some light painting, if you paint the driveway as well, if you paint the driveway apron concrete gray and you pressure wash everything can look great and you can get top dollar for your money. But at the end of the day, you've got to put in the work as well. Or you can say, no, I don't want to do any of that work. I just want to sell it to somebody like yourself, Franklin, who's a real estate investor or developer, a true investor, and we could do the right thing for it. That's great. But the reality is, the hard truth is, again, there's way more people that want to sell their property and there's not a lot of buyers. When you deal with that, now you have the recipe of they want to pick the best property and they want a deal, right? So everybody wants a deal. But the thing is, when it comes down to the seller, they have to be realistic. I've had to drop my prices on properties to make the numbers work. Because at the end of the day, do I want the inventory? No, because every single month there's a cost. So you have to look at it, if you're a seller, to say, look, what's my cost every month from me not getting what I want? And that's selling the property. Or do I need to make the property fantastic, make it look good, and not sell the property? And that's fine as well. If you want to keep the property, make it look good, and you don't have to sell, don't. Period. Don't do it then. But if you are somebody that you want to sell the property, you want to make a certain amount, then you just kind of have to be realistic. And you may fall in one of those categories. What I have found after doing hundreds of these face-to-face with sellers is there's three types of sellers. There's the no-hassle seller, the fixer-upper seller, or the urgent seller. If you're one of those, let me know. I'm curious, which one are you? But you could forward this and share this with somebody to say, look, this is the realistic side. You've got to understand true comps. And the way that works is a appraiser is going to look at 5 years up, 5 years down. So if you're thinking about selling your property, they're going to say, what has sold in the area in the last 6 months to a year? but 5 years up, 5 years down of your property's year built. Then it's got to be similar in style. That means if it's a block house, it's got to look like another block house, 5 years up, 5 years down. So if your house was built in 1980, they could only look at 1985 to 1975, the 10-year bracket, 5 years up, 5 years down. Similar in style, concrete block versus concrete block, not manufactured home versus X. You can't, and then you've also got to look at, is it upgrades versus downgrades? Is the property that sold, did you look inside of it, and how did it look? The other property that has sold, is your property a downgrade or an upgrade versus the ones that has sold? Not for sale, sold. These are things, and then you have to factor all that in, and it gives you an average. And right now, again, it's a different kind of market. I've been in real estate since 2005, ever since I was in the military. Actually, I was doing it part-time. And so I've seen this kind of cycle before, and it will pass. The only catch is also you have insurance rates are rising, taxes are rising, and then people to do actual work is lower. It's not that many people that actually can do the construction work if you want to get it done. Now you're going to pay a premium for that. It's a recipe for that perfect storm of real estate, which you're seeing it right now. Now, the catch is you're seeing it on the higher end of the market, $400,000 or above. You're going to have to, again, if it's in a great neighborhood, great property, I don't think you're going to have a hard time. Because to me, real estate is street by street. It's not, you can't just generalize it right now. But the reality is there are less buyers than sellers. Way more people are wanting to sell their property than actually wanting to purchase properties. When you have that, again, the buyers are going to pick the cream of the crop. Do your best. Hopefully you can do what I said on some avenues. Pressure wash your home. That's very inexpensive. Paint little things. Get a screwdriver or a hand drill. Just screw everything down. Make it look good and clean. If you could at least do that, that will make a huge difference. All right. Anyway, hopefully this helps. Bye.